A former Navy pilot, a record-breaking spacewalker, a single parent, the first woman, black man, and Canadian to fly around the moon. This is Artemis II. First up, Mission Commander Reid Wiseman, a naval aviator. This will be his second space flight. Wiseman has logged 165 days in orbit aboard the International Space Station and has completed 2 spacewalks. But his greatest reward and most rewarding challenge, being a single dad to 2 girls who he says would rather he stay home and hang out with them. Quite a novelty for girls, right? Up next is pilot Victor Glover. He is now the first person of color to fly on a lunar mission. This is also Glover's second space flight after previously spending 168 days in space on the first ever operational SpaceX Crew Dragon flight back in 2020. A husband and father to 4 daughters. When he told his kids about the mission, they all said, "Let's go." When mission specialist Christina Cook isn't going to space, she likes to surf, rock climb, and travel. She's the first woman to fly on a lunar mission, but she's already broken some space records. At 328 days, she holds the record for the longest single space flight by a woman. Cook also participated in the first all-female spacewalk. Pretty impressive for someone who once told her husband when they were dating that becoming an astronaut would never happen. She's bringing handwritten notes from friends and family with her on board. And finally, there's Mission Specialist 2 Jeremy Hansen, a rookie with the Canadian Space Agency on his first ever flight. Another first he accomplished, being the first Canadian to fly beyond low Earth orbit. In tow, Hansen has 4 moon pendants with him on his mission, representing his wife and 3 kids, who he says have been really supportive of him on this journey. Every good astronaut is a supportive family, right? Now that the Artemis II rocket has launched into space, the astronauts will be focusing on their mission objectives as they fly around the moon. So for more on this, former NASA astronaut Ron Garan joins us now. Thank you so much for being here. First of all, what is your reaction to what we saw tonight?
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm really excited. There's so many things that could stop a launch. You know, there's weather and obviously technical issues. I know that they were working some before the launch, so it was just really exciting, and I was very thankful to see it get off the ground and be going so well so far.
So now that we are, let me look at the NASA broadcast. Now that we are, okay, now I'm hitting refresh. This is what happens when you go on the fly. Okay, they stopped their countdown, but we are plenty of time. We're more than half an hour into the mission elapsed time. Are there any risks right now in this orbit or in that burn to the moon, or is the riskiest part behind them?
Well, a part that had large risk is behind them. There's risky parts ahead. The next big event is for them to do the perigee raising maneuver, which happens at about 49 minutes after launch. And basically, the perigee is the lowest part. It's the part of the orbit that's the closest to the Earth. And so they are approaching what's called apogee, the farthest part, because it's a very elliptical orbit. And so they need to raise the perigee to a safe altitude, and so they're going to be doing that soon. So that's the next big event.
When is their first nap?
That's a great question. There is a lot going on in this first day and into the second day, because this flight day 2 has the burn to the moon, where they fire the engines to propel them to the moon. There's what's called a proximity operation maneuver that they're going to do. They're going to separate from the upper stage and then basically maneuver around it to basically test drive the Orion spacecraft. We have 2 test pilots at the helm there, so that's good news. So they're really, really busy. I don't know when they're going to get time for sleep, but I think they're going to need to take some cat naps because they've got a very, very busy schedule ahead.
And so Peggy Whitson, who was part of the team that helped decide the Artemis crew, said, you know, they had thousands of applicants for each position. What does it take to get selected for something like this? And can you help us understand, maybe for somebody who doesn't understand the risk that you have to accept when you accept the position?
Yeah, I mean, being selected as an astronaut is a long shot, to put it lightly. There are thousands of applicants for every person that they pick, so they're very selective in that process. But each astronaut that gets selected and does missions, especially one like this that's so historic and is a first of its kind, we all understand the risks that we're signing up to. And everyone that I know that's in the business does it because they believe what they're doing has a tremendous benefit for all of humanity, and that makes the risk worth it. There's a risk-benefit trade-off that that calculus is done, and it shows that you should do it.
I got to be quick with you, but if you could talk to the crew right now, what would you tell them?
Congratulations, you guys are doing great. I wish I was there with you.
Do you?
Of course, yeah, of course. It's going to be an amazing mission to go, beyond the moon and to see the Earth rise. I mean, we haven't seen that in 54 years. It changed how we see the world. It changed how we see ourselves, and we're going to do it again. And I think that was a hugely unifying moment in our history, and I hope we have another one here in 4 days.
Well, Ron Garan, let's talk to you then. Thank you so much.
All the best.